Many years ago, after she was stricken with polio, I started visiting there. We got acquainted. My brothers helped a lot in the situation with the iron lung and the generator that kicks on when the power goes off, and we just started seeing each other, and I paid her visits. And you know, if you're down, she's a good morale booster, and she's a good friend. We talk confidentially about a lot of things.
It's just fun to take something to somebody to enjoy with them. When you are confined to a room, you still want to know what's in the world around you, and I'm interested in always showing the beauty of the things growing around. She always cares. See, we decorated the outside, and she can't see it, but we video and we take pictures for her to see. And I tried to match this ribbon with what we used outside.
Well, we get up, we eat breakfast, then we take a bath. And then after the bath, I brush her teeth. And she reads a book over top. I turn the pages when she says turn the page, and while I'm giving her a bath. Phone usually rings, and she'll tell me answer it or not answer it. That's what I do. I'm supposed to answer it if we're not real busy. If we're busy, we don't answer it.
Well, that's one of the beauties of it. I don't know, almost anyone can manage what I need done. But with an iron lung, it basically is opening and closing these clamps that you see here on the side, and bringing me out and doing the general care. And then as far as the machine itself, it runs with a small motor and a transmission that causes the wheel to turn in the right direction to manipulate a bellows. Even though each machine sounds and feels a little different, within 24 hours it's part of the landscape. And one of the good things about an iron lung is just that it's iron. It's like a really tough, low maintenance machine. Another thing, it's not invasive. I don't have any tubes in my throat. I don't have any tubes anywhere. Therefore, I'm not as susceptible to virus or bacteria or what have you that many people in my situation with the more sophisticated things have to deal with continuously. I can speak at my own speed, and some of them have a lot of trouble talking. Polly, fight.
Hey, Polly, come on in.
Melissa?
Hey, Polly.
Hey, Martha. How are you? you?
What's going on?
Oh, well, I ran out of mums. Jack Frost got them. So I gathered some greenery to make a basket for
Isn't
you.
it beautiful?
Yes, and I have holly and nandina berries.
Perfect for the desk.
Yeah, that's a good place
We
to
need
put it.
something for you.
Right, that's the spot. And that's where Ma always put your greenery at Christmas anyway. It's on the desk.
The early years were, I guess, as idyllic as you or I or anyone could write about, even to the point of, this is too good to be true stuff. And then we hit that wall. I had a brother whose name was Gaston, and he was 2 years older. He had polio when I did. He died, I guess, 3 days before I went to the hospital. His funeral was one day, and I entered the hospital the next day. Come in.
Hello.
Hi, Bob.
Hi, Martha. How are you doing?
Good. How about you?
Pretty good. I got mail, and this time you had quite a bit. Looks like
Maybe it's good stuff.
looks like you've got a gift here, or you've ordered one to give, and a couple of Christmas cards, and well, there's a bill from Duke Power, and it wouldn't be complete if you didn't have something from Walmart. And here's the First Baptist Church bulletin. Where do you want me to place this?
Just put it over there.
I'll take that.
Oh, okay. Well, I really can't stay. I've got a lot of obligations, and I don't know how I'm going to get them all done, and I really don't have time to stay.
I'll sit down for a few
But
minutes.
well, I'll sit down and chat for a minute here. I am so pressed for time for this season of the year. I don't know how I get myself so involved, but do you have any suggestions how I could go about making sure I get all this done?
Just enjoy it and go on.
Well, that's what I need to do, and not let it bother me.
It's a season
Well, you're right.
for fellowship and friendship. See, parents are not allowed ordinarily to be with children in the polio unit. And I suppose as much for them as for me, but a lot for me. Because Gaston just died. Every time I would open my eyes, one of them would be sitting there. And Iris, I think that was so reassuring. I was not abandoned. Usually my dad had his hand on my head, or my mother would be stroking my hair or something. And I knew they were there. And see, I lost Gaston. But they assured me I would not lose them. And I think that's one of the reasons that I survived. The doctor told my mother that they could bring me home. And she was surprised. Usually, I've been used to doctors telling kids they could go home, meaning they left with no more than a new pair of shoes and a brace. That was going home. And that was a pretty good deal, So I anticipated when I would go home that's what I would have too, probably. But this year went by in the hospital, and that just didn't happen with me. So when he came and he said, Do you think you can live with being inactive, being a vegetable, being in an iron lung for the rest of your life? You think that means I don't move from my neck down? And the report is that no, but I think I can live above that. See, that same doctor said she won't live longer. Be prepared for not longer than a year. Well, here it is, 55 years later, and I'm still around. There was certain debate among my friends about coming, and Pat, who's a close friend, still is, said something like, "Well, it's still Martha. It's just in a different package."
I've been working 25 years with her. Because she don't have nobody and I don't have nobody now. Well, hey, Miss Horn.
Hi, Ginger.
How you doing?
I'm great. How about you?
I'm doing just fine. She taught me how to read again. I did not know how to read. Let's see, I don't see no barbecues. That's cheese. I can read a lot better than I did. I get regular and barbecues. Merry Christmas. Okay.
Wake Forest opened places for me, avenues of the intellect that I didn't know existed, and taught me how to learn. Education, I think, is the process by which you learn that. It's not something that you go out and drink a couple of beers and then you feel happy. I'm talking about lasting, ongoing concern for others as well as self. Not too long after I came home from Wake Forest and was all set up to become the great writer that I knew I could be. My father had a massive heart attack, and he was 50 years old. At that time, a heart attack was not like now. You stayed in the hospital. I think he said at least 6 weeks. Then when he came home, he was practically just out of everything for another 6 months. I mean, he couldn't do a lot. My mother had to take over the things that they had both done. Well, see, basically she did my basic care, and that was about it. Because there was just no time for anything else. Not to mention energy. I guess I didn't think much about energy at that time. But I did think about time. And there have been times when I was almost bitter about that. Not quite, but almost. But then in retrospect, even that was good. Because it gave me an opportunity to to get to know my parents, not as parents, but as people, as individuals, as people that couldn't always fix everything. And couldn't always say, well, you know, it will be okay, or they could no longer do that. It was like now we were three adults, and I felt a responsibility to see that they didn't have more than they could handle. And they had done so much, I think, to try to make me want to live and to keep me living, that they deserved a break, really.
This is sort of the meeting place. This is where everyone comes when they want to know something. They bring their girlfriends or boyfriends to Martha to see not only the voice but the look of approval.
There's some joy in even bad days. I don't mean that to sound like Pollyanna, and I've been accused of being Pollyanna.
Determination can conquer a lot. She has a great determination for anything. She's not afraid.
I mean, I know the score, and I know what I'd like to have done. I would not have chosen living my life in iron lung, but that's what I got. But when you get that, then that's what you deal with.
From the first to the end of the year, it usually goes from different holidays of parties. We have our own little house parties a lot. Come on in.
Hello.
Oh, hey, Ann. Well, there's Peggy Jean.
Hello.
And how's your husband?
Oh, he's still barking like a dog. Hi, girls. Hey, Paul.
Hi.
Good to see you.
You see, this is a tremendous blessing in that I have a wide scope. All my friends are not one thing. You know, I know a certain number of attorneys and a certain number of lawbreakers, I'm sure. My only complaint about the computer is, why didn't you come earlier? First place, it's opened up so many places I wanted to go. Now, let me see if I can. Like number one, I can write now. I don't have to wait for anyone's convenience or. And see, I can even write personal things that maybe I don't want that third person, regardless who it is, involved in.
Now, are you wanting to change the fonts?
And that's number one. And number two is the internet. Internet is like living in a library. Internet Explorer. Page down. Page down. I think living in my head, not living physically, as other people do. I think that's been much easier because I am a head person, intellectually speaking. And I don't consider myself an intellectual, but I consider myself a searcher, a seeker.
Hey, sir, can I take your order?
Yes, I'd like
Kirk's Way.
You want peppers and onions on that?
Yeah, peppers and onions and all, everything, and I want it to go.
Okay.
She's special. And you'll get me emotional. She'll point out. And I don't need to do that, but she is, she's probably the most remarkable person I've ever met. She's our little town's treasure, our crown jewel, I guess you'd say.
Hello, Jack.
Hey, I brought you supper and a poke.
Oh, good. We're eating tonight.
Yeah, we're eating uptown. She steers the conversation to where she wants it to be, and because of that, she's exceptionally well informed. When I get there and I leave, then I found out that I've been talking about me all the time. So then the next time I say, I'm going to vow, by God, at this time, we're going to talk about Martha. And I start off on that, but before you know it, she's already got it back to where she's talking about me. So she's just got some kind of unusual knack or something or whatever.
I decided early on that one of my objectives would be to make people not notice or at least not dwell on our love. I mean, it's there. It's not like I'm trying to hide it. So I'll make them forget that they're in the presence of all this machine.
You see, here you are right back in that same thing I talk about all the time. You talk about me, and I want to talk about you. She's my favorite dining partner, and I've dined with a lot of people, including General Eisenhower and Jimmy Carter, one-on-one, and big-time folks if you want to drop some names. And she's still, she's the most remarkable and my favorite dining partner.
He's going to work.
Well, to see her, my friend, my best friend, my mother, my helper, my secretary, and to see her fade out like the Cheshire Cat and become what she became, that's big. And that's painful. In her eyes, I was really a split person. Sometimes I was her mother. Sometimes I was an infant Martha. Sometimes I was the Martha of today. Almost all of us now have, at some point, to deal with some form of dementia in parents, grandparents, whatever. And ourselves, maybe soon. And I think the key to that, at least for me, was to keep them involved. You don't put them in the other room and say, watch TV or whatever. We had her at everything we did. Look at all she did for me. And the very least I could do when she had a need was to see to it. But that was such a little compared to what she had done for me. I think aging humbles you. makes you become much more aware of where you are, and much more grateful for who you are and where you've been. Something happens to all of us. Mine is more visible than yours, but you have to deal with your things too. And Joe Blow does. So none of us are exempt from things that would make us extraordinary people if the world knew the story.